Presence is one of the things that I train and coach people in. And it's a bit of an obscure domain, because how do you actually define presence? What is it? What is it that makes us turn around when somebody comes into a room? Or that makes us listen out for every word that they have to say? What makes us feel after? That really touched me somehow, in a good way or in a bad way, but it touched me. The one way that I like to think about presence is in terms of focusing and calibrating your energy. And again, that's almost as obscure as the concept of personal presence, right? But don't worry, we're going to try to drill it down to some more practical behaviors. There's a woman called Patsy Rodenberg. She's a British voice coach. And she's written several books. One of them is Presence, How to Use Positive Energy for Success in Every Situation. So she promises a lot. The concept that she uses in this book is talking about the 3 circles of energy. And here we're talking about human energy. So all the kind of energy that I, as a human being, can radiate. So that's, of course, the way I move, the way I hold myself, how I breathe, my vocal energy, but also my mental energy. So where is my intention? What am I targeting? But also, where is my attention? What am I taking in? So all these energies can move in 3 different ways, in 3 circles. And the first circle is the circle of self and withdrawal, where my posture is a bit compromised. My voice is a bit weak, doesn't have a lot of energy. My breathing is shallow. And there might be a lot of things going on in my head, but I'm not sharing them in a very effective way with anyone right now. So in the best case, this could be good for introspection and reflection, but it's maybe not the circle you want to be in when that big, important moment comes. It's the first circle, the circle of self and withdrawal. So the opposite to that is the 3rd circle, where all your energy is externalized. You're spraying the world with energy. And first you say, oh, this is really refreshing. This is so dynamic. I love it. But after a while, you will notice that I'm just broadcasting. I'm just on the stage here broadcasting to you. I couldn't care less about what you think or what you wanted to say to me. Because the 3rd circle is a circle of bluff and force. Pushing all my energy away. So the 2nd circle of energy is the circle of presence and connection, where I am 100% focused on the person or the people that I am talking to. All my mental energy, all my physical energy is going that way, so that my energy touches you and comes back with some communication to me. So the 2nd circle is the circle of presence and connection. And we use all these 3 circles several times over a day. We move in and out of them, depending on who we talk to, what mood I'm in, what I'm talking about. But then we tend to have one that we come back to. It's my circle of comfort. That's where I spend most of my time. Well, which one is it for you? Maybe you know already. Maybe you're about to find out tonight. So, I would like to ask you to come up. So just move into this big, nice open space in the center. How do I stand in 2nd circle? So first of all, let's see if we can get some balance. Because one of the things that I really like to work with is getting the point of gravity down from the brain to the center of the body, which is somewhere here. So put your feet hip-width apart. If you're standing too close with your legs, or if your legs were like this, what circle would that be a clue for? First, exactly. If you were standing like this.
Bluff.
Right, so hip-width apart, aligned, relaxed knees, and then you can start shaking your gravity down a bit. And feel how you're getting more and more solidly anchored in the floor. And then the lower part of your body is now really heavy and solid, anchored in the floor, and the spine is growing up from your sacrum and aspiring towards the ceiling. So you're gaining 1 or 2 centimeters here, right? So we're nice and straight. Now what about the arms? So now maybe you will have to turn around 90 degrees so you have room to stretch out your arms. And what if I would push my chest like this? What circle would that be? Third circle, yeah. And if I'm a bit more like this? Third circle. So where can I find the middle? So where I'm really tall to start with. My shoulders are far away from my ears. And imagine you're in an elevator. So you're pushing the walls of the elevator. Having a nice open chest, but you're also open in your upper back. And then you just let your arms go. So that was the height and the width. Now what about the forward-backward dimension? So you can play around a bit, and this is where I'm going to take it easy now. So weight on your heels and weight on your toes. Play with it, see what does it feel like? Where do I feel most at home? So if you would naturally want to stand with the weight of your heels, what circle would that be? One, yeah, I'm leaning away from you. So I look nice and tall, but actually I'm keeping my distance, right? So I don't know if there's a third one in this, but the second one would actually be where you have your weight on the balls of your feet. So you're leaning slightly forward. At the top axis is maybe about 2 centimeters from the vertical axis. I'm leaning into the people that I want to talk to. And I try to feel this comfortable and natural, because it may not be for you, right? And then, what about the voice? What about the breath? Let's just put some fingers here on the soft spot just under your ribs, your diaphragm. And then release a little sigh of relief, a pleasant sigh of relief. Like, nice to see you here tonight, Ingrid. And Jackie too. Do it a couple of times. And then now to check that we're in second circle, put your hand up in front of you, about 30 centimeters from your face. And imagine that this is a person you are talking to. And then release this little sigh of relief to your hand in second circle. You're just releasing it, letting it go. A pleasant sigh of relief. Here we go. And once more. Then to contrast it, we have to check that it's really in second. So now hold it back. Just send the sigh halfway to your hand in first circle. What does that feel like? It's really a half-hearted sigh, isn't it? Right? And then in third, we'll be pushing it beyond your hand. Noisy one. A forced sigh. And then come back to second. And now we put some sound on it. Just ah. 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 Yeah, nice. And you can take your hand down. Now you have your voice in second. You've calibrated it where you're not holding it back, you're not pushing it, but you're just releasing it out of your body. Other than this, the posture, how you stand, and your voice, your breathing, what would be a crucial determinator of being in a second circle? It's something in the face. Eye contact, exactly.
So now, turn around to the person who's standing closest to you, and let's see if we can form couples. If not, you can work in 3. Does everyone have a partner? 3 here, if anyone needs. 3 here. Okay, so now face your nice partner, look them in the eyes, and release this little sigh of relief in second circle. And the next time you say, I'm so glad you came tonight. Yeah. And this was the first practice. This was easy. Now we'll add a little bit. And actually it might make it easier. Because I don't know if you were noticing the speakers, the 4 speakers that we saw here before. When did you feel, in hindsight, if you would apply this concept on them, when did you feel that people were most clearly in the second circle? Any clues?
Towards the end?
Towards the end, sometimes, not always. But when they were emotionally engaged, for good and for bad, positive or negative emotions. When you're emotionally engaged, it's easier to be 100% focused and engaged in second circle. Therefore, I suggest that you practice now with your partner. You take turns. You give feedback after, and I'm going to give you the phrase soon. Give feedback after saying, yes, I think that was in second, because you did this and this and that, or you say, actually, it felt like first. So this is not an absolute science, it's subjective. So you give your subjective feedback, say, I wasn't completely drawn in because there was something distracting me. Try again and see if you can get it in second. So use a phrase on the lines of, when I see the sun rise over the mountains, that makes me really happy. It makes me want to sing and dance. So that's a positive emotion statement. Or, when I see my husband not having put on the top of the toothpaste tube again, it makes me want to spray toothpaste all over his pillow. Negative emotion. So pick one positive, negative emotion statement and say it to your partner being in second circle. And see what feedback you get. And then you take, when you're done, you take turns. So let's take about 4 or 5 minutes to do this. Go ahead.
It was really
Let's have a little debrief, but please take your chairs again. That way it will be easier to see and hear everyone.
It takes time to develop the number two. It takes a little bit of time
Yes.
to get acquainted, to feel comfortable.
Absolutely. And it takes also the mental discipline to get into the flow. Where am I? I need to land and get into it. Absolutely. What else?
I think that socially we might know that it's good to be in the second circle, but when you're speaking to someone you don't know, you might fall to originally where you were before. So if you're more towards the first, you're going to fall back there, or if you're in the third, you're going to fall in there too.
Yeah.
So you got to watch yourself when you're just speaking with people that you don't really know.
Exactly. And so it's easier to be in second with people that you know already, especially if you like these people. Yeah.
I would have given my counterpart more a 2.5 rather than a true. But when I asked him, were you true? He said yes. So maybe it's a bias of perception. And in my case, the bias was coming from the fact that the body was moving, but the head was stable. So for me, it was more like karate.
Okay, so there are two things here that are really important. The first one is the difference between my own perception of what I am doing and the perception of others. Because I thought I was speaking loud enough, or I thought I was standing still, but apparently I was doing this. And I wasn't aware. That's the value of feedback. And then the other thing, now I'm about to forget it. What was the second thing? Yes, the karate thing. So what are the things that distract from second circle? Because again, we were saying in the beginning that presence is 100% focused energy. That you're opening up this communication channel to the other people. But then, by doing distracting things, you will create leaks in it. So I have some energy leaking out through my feet that is not helping me in the communication with anyone. And I have little tics, and then I have my head that is busy thinking about what I'm going to say. And that removes some of my presence too, because I'm somewhere up in my head. So all these things are distractions to presence. Any last comments?
It's very hard to do it in a short distance, I think.
Sorry?
You need some space, I think, to...
Yeah, you didn't have space enough. It felt a bit artificial and
No,
uncomfortable,
but
yes.
yes, it
Yes.
intimidates a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird exercise.
Should take my fist now.
Yes?
You found it depends what you were talking about, and there had to be coherence between your message and the body language. And with Maria, we were talking about the stressful experience of being a timer. So she started in 1, which was appropriate for the topic, to really add credibility to what she was saying.
Yeah.
And they said, but it's an important learning experience. And then I felt her coming out, and then she said yes, because it's important to learn these skills and things. And then when I talked about the toothpaste thing, which really wasn't it's not my husband, but I know other men who go for the toothpaste on the Yes? So I talked about that, that's an annoying thing. So you tend to go into one to show that really annoys you. And then you come out and think, well, I'm a bit more objective, that maybe it's not that serious in the great scheme of things. So that it was related to the topic, and that if you were in phase 2 talking about the stressful experience or something annoys you, it wasn't credible.
Yeah, it can be done, but it's more difficult to get to it, right? Because it is something that's more inside you and more inside your head.
But this transition is quite powerful, we thought.
It is. It is has it ever happened to you, you listen to a fairly boring business presentation by a CEO or something, and everything they say is impressive and important, and you couldn't care less. And then suddenly, they start talking about something personal. Or that, you know, the reason I'm in this job is actually because one day my grandfather told me that I had to save the earth. And you can see how the audience shifts, how the attention shifts. And that is really powerful. And that is, that suddenly that person got away from the business first circle number head into actually being there. So what I would like to leave you with is having this start to move around now in your mind and reflect on it and see how can I put this to work when I speak at Toastmasters, obviously, but also in face-to-face conversations, maybe conversations with my partner, with my children, with my colleagues, or in a meeting when I have that, when it's my 2-minute slot and I really have to convince people to go for my idea. How can I get myself into that powerful circle? And then continue to give each other feedback, because now everyone who's here has heard this. So you can start using this as one more thing to relate to when you're giving feedback to each other. So thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. It's a really nice atmosphere here, and I'm also learning a lot. I love the way you're giving structured feedback to each other. It's very interesting learning. So I will hang around a little bit just after we finish. I will not be able to join you for dinner. If anyone is interested in upcoming workshops, I will leave some flyers over there and my card as well. And I hope to see you some other time soon. So thanks a lot.